Georgia and Florida renewing pleasantries. What's the Georgia-Florida line? Well, Georgia was a huge favorite in this game, right? And they were messing around. And then they sealed the deal late, thanks to Dwight Phillips Jr., to beat Florida in Jacksonville 34-20. Carson Beck, 3 picks. That's what keeps these other teams in these games. I know they're coming off that win against Texas, and that's huge for Georgia. But you can't be messing around with these mid-level teams right now. Like Florida's not an elite team right now. It's an elite program, but not an elite team right now. I'm gonna be clear about that. Okay, that team can come back. That program can come back. It's a premium program, but right now Georgia wins by 2 touchdowns. But the score not indicative of how really close this game was. Back here with B-Mac. B-Mac, we talk about it all the time.
Yep.
Messing around.
Playing around with your food.
Messing around. Yep. What did you see from Georgia in this game that made you like, hey, a letdown spot? We see that, look, these are 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids coming off a big win against Texas, and sometimes you sort of go, all right, we'll be good if we just go out there and roll the ball out.
I saw a team that did not have the sense of urgency to start this ball game. I saw a team that didn't execute well. And the surprising thing with that, with Georgia,
they did score 28 points in the second half, though. I'm going to give you that.
They scored 14 with what the game was tied 20-20 with halfway through the 4th quarter. And they scored 14. That last touchdown was pretty much with under 3 minutes left.
It was like garbage time.
That was garbage time.
Yeah.
So this game was extremely close, and not to mention DJ Lagway left the game because of an injury. So Florida played basically the second half without a legit quarterback option because DJ Lagway, Graham Mertz were the only 2 significant quarterback options they had, and then Graham went out. Now it was DJ's show until the injury happened. So for me, Georgia, the sense of urgency was not there. They didn't execute well. Their quarterback was bad. I mean, Carson Beck was not good at all. And the running game was not consistently there, and they gave up some things in the running game to Florida. And the crazy part is about this is that the last time we saw Georgia, they had one of the best wins in college football against Texas. They had a week off to kind of come from that emotional high, get prepared for this rivalry, and you came out flat. Now you won. You won by 14 points, but to your point, the final score does not tell the story in how this game played out.
Are you concerned because, look, Georgia has a couple of tough ones coming up. They got to go at Ole Miss and then Tennessee. Now, that's 2 top 15 teams in the country right now.
I'm concerned because I don't know what you're going to get from Carson Beck. Okay. Carson Beck is starting to become a liability for their team. Now, I'm not saying he should be benched. I'm not saying that. But when you talk about coming into this season as a potential Heisman candidate, Hakeem, that was legit, right?
Yep.
When you talk about coming into this season as a legit first-round NFL prospect, he is not living up to those things right now. And for them to have a fighting chance the rest of the way against the teams they have to play against, you talked about Ole Miss. Ole Miss can score. And Ole Miss has a defensive front that can really make things difficult for you. I don't know what to expect from Carson Beck. 3 bad interceptions today. 3 bad interceptions. You can't have that.
He has 8 interceptions in his last 3 games.
It's not good. That's not good for a guy who was a Heisman candidate, for a guy who was supposed to be a legit first-round type talent. That's not good. So that's my concerns. When you ask that question, am I concerned about the team? I'm concerned about Carson Beck because if he plays efficient football for Georgia, you don't need to have a quarterback that can give you numbers like Cam Ward. That would be great, but their system is not predicated on that. They love to run the football, play tough defense, and make routine plays happen routinely in the passing game. They haven't seen that from Carson Beck, and that's why I'm a bit concerned. They won today. They won by 14. The final score does not tell the story for that ball game because I really thought they were on the brinks of getting upset from the Gators. Unfortunately, they didn't have DJ Lagway.
So are you saying that this win was not good enough?
No. No.
14 points.
We watched the game.
What if Kirby Smart goes, we won by 14, B-Mac? What do you want from us? We won by 14.
You won by 14.
We're playing in a neutral site. It's in Jacksonville. We're not in Athens. We know this team's trying to give us our best shot. What if Kirby goes, B-Mac, what more do you want me to do?
I know Kirby. Kirby coached me at Florida State. He might say that to the public, but internally, he's going to get in on those guys because he understands what the standard is. Because, yes, it was sloppy. The sense of urgency wasn't there. But you played against a team, to your point, they're not a good team. They have a good football history, good football tradition. But in 2024, they're not a good team. If you continue to play this way against better teams, a la Ole Miss, you won't be as fortunate as you were tonight. That's why he's going to lay into those guys from the coaching element.
Are you really concerned about Ole Miss? I know they score 60 whenever they want, but defensively, you think they can hang with Georgia?
If Georgia played this way,
yes, okay.
If it was Ole Miss and Jackson Dart, they would have lost.
I see what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Against Florida, without DJ Lagway, of course you can find a way, because what jump-started that game when they were tied was a bad interception for Florida that gave Georgia great field position that they cashed in, and they scored 7. The score was 27-20. So a lot of things worked in their favor when you talk about not having your QB1 in the game. So to your question, no question, I feel like if they played against a better team, they might not have been as fortunate as they were tonight.
How about this? Georgia has now won 52 straight games against teams other than Alabama. Their last loss to a team not named Alabama was against Florida 4 years ago in 2020. So Georgia's getting it done.
They get it done.
The Dogs get it done. They win by 2 touchdowns. It's not enough, though, for BMAC. Coming up, treasure trove of highlights to show you.
That's the play right there.
We'll go around the country, including to Jacksonville. Next on CBS Sports HQ, presented by Belfour.